What if I told you that I took a $10 account, this right here, from $10, the price of a burger, to over $2,000 in one single trade and within just a few minutes, using nothing but the cumulative delta bars volume and the footprint chart. So I'm going to give you my execution list of how I flipped this $10 account to over $2,000. I'll show you the footprint cluster with the trap traders, and the keywords in this video are going to be cumulative, delta, divergence, absorption, and selling imbalances, and also buying imbalances, plus the footprint chart, of course, and the cumulative delta bars volume. So from $10 to $2,000, this is how we got our flip. So I've taught you the theory about the cumulative delta bars volume, and also I've given you some ways of getting entries with the footprint chart. But now I want to show you how I use these two tools to flip this account, because these are very strong tools. Please pay attention and watch how I flipped this $10 account to $2,000 to over $2,000, so that you can also do the same, also that you can also flip this account just as I did. So now we're going to talk about how the footprint chart exposes the trapped buyers and sellers after the cumulative delta divergence gives us the divergence itself. So since I gave you the theory means nothing except if you can flip this theory into practical, or if you can flip it into execution. So this time I decided to prove it on the smallest amount possible, that is the $10 account. And I've always done this in 2024, 2023. So I'm just trying to also help you so that you can also do the same thing. So if I lost it, no big deal. And if I won, then we shall see how it happened and whatever happened after that. Now, first of all, I'm going to show you the trading view setup before. Now, this right here is the trading view setup before it happened. I do not like showing you things after they have happened, so I make sure I show you that I had this trade before it happened, or when I had just entered, and then this is the trade setup right after each and everything happened. But then let us look at how did the cumulative delta divergence and the footprint chart come in to give us confirmation for this trade. Now this is where each and everything is going to get interesting. We want to see how did we use the cumulative delta bars volume and the footprint chart to get confirmations for these trades. So first of all, at first glance, price was climbing to the upside, but then under the hood, something was not right, and the cumulative delta divergence showed us that. First of all, I'll show you this trade. Right here, we use this cumulative delta bars volume. Remember I told you we use this cumulative delta bars volume to spot divergence. And what is divergence? Divergence is when price takes out the previous high or the previous low, but then the cumulative delta divergence does not take them out. So right here we had price going to the upside. We had these candlesticks, and also the other tip to spotting these divergences, please do not use highs from very far. If a high is like 10 highs behind, do not focus on it being taken out. Look at the most recent highs, between 1 to 5 highs that are the most recent, and when you get a divergence there, go to the footprint chart and confirm absorption after that. So right here we had this high, what you can do if you're a busy person, you can just mark this high and wait for price to take it out. Maybe you set an alert on TradingView, and when price takes out that high, you look at the candlestick that took out that high, you compare those two candlesticks with the cumulative delta. If this one is lower than this one, and then here in the cumulative delta, this one is higher. I mean, in the chart itself, this one is higher. When you look at this chart in the cumulative delta, but then also right here, this candle is doing, these two candles are doing the opposite of these two candles. Now that is your first red flag. Why is price going to the upside here, but then in the cumulative delta it's showing us something different? With your plain eyes or with your human eye, price is going to show you with your naked eye on the candlesticks here on TradingView that price is going up. How are you going to know that there is weakness of buyers without the cumulative delta? So this cumulative delta divergence gives us a red flag here. Now that's the first red flag. The second red flag is now the red flag that's given to us by the cumulative delta divergence. How do we confirm that price is actually going to go down? Because with this footprint chart, what I want us to know and what I want each and everyone to know with this flipping is that you need a sniper entry and you need a zero drawdown trade. Yeah. So before we get into the confirmation of the footprint chart, I want to first go to the psychology section of flipping this account and why we need the footprint chart to confirm a zero drawdown entry. So first of all, let me first talk about why I use a $10 account. This wasn't about flexing a small flip because I've always done it, but then it was about psychology. This trade happened on 26th August and I kept it and I made sure that I'm going to make a video about it because it's just a very clear example of what I can show you and how I flipped this account. So it was about proving my skill and then also testing discipline as I've always done, but showing it to you how I did it and showing you how exactly I did it. It was also about showing you that even with the dust in the account, you should focus on turning it into gold. Now, most people blow $10 in a blink of an eye. They gamble, they over leverage, and they wipe it out because they're gambling and they don't know what exactly to do. But I wanted to show you the opposite, that with patience and sniper setups, even the smallest account can grow to something that is very big. So of how I flipped this $10 account to over $2,000. Now that's like a times 200 gain. Now imagine also still getting that $2,000 and flipping it to a times 200 gain. 200k. Now that's over like $400,000. But then you had started with $10. I don't know whether most of you have that psychology to flip from $10 to $2,000 and then also steal that very profit of $2,000, you get it and flip it to $400,000. I don't know, but still it is very possible. So I get a few failed trades, of course, but if I have a high win rate with these order flow tools, I'm going to have just a few failed trades. And what is a $10 loss when I've made over $6,000 on 3 winning trades and I've only lost only one trade? So now we've already talked about the cumulative delta divergence right here. We've already seen cumulative delta divergence gave us confirmation to that price was not continuing any higher, but now we needed more red flags from the footprint chart for these very candlestick and the candlesticks after to give us confirmation to sell. But remember, we need it for sniper entries. We need it to confirm sniper entries and also when to add in more position. Now we go to the footprint chart itself. Right here we had our footprint chart. Now this is UTC minus 4. Also the footprint chart is UTC minus 4. And what was the time at this point? This was 5:18 by the time that candlestick got invalidated and our cumulative delta divergence gave us confirmation. So right here we have these 4 candlesticks. Now this is where I want us to see what the footprint chart should give us. Either this footprint chart is supposed to give you our delta setups that we talked about in this video, delta flip, delta transition, delta surges, or the footprint chart can also give us absorption, where we see a bullish candlestick having negative delta or a bearish candlestick having positive delta. Now that is a red flag, and those are the red flags that we want to see. The other thing I talked about at the beginning of this video that is going to be part of the keywords are the imbalances. If you see a selling candle or a bearish candle having lots of bullish imbalances, or a bullish candle having lots of selling imbalances, now that is more confirmation that we're having absorption in that candlestick. But the minimum of those selling imbalances or buying imbalances in the opposite candle should be 3. That's the minimum. So right here we had this bullish candle. This is the candle that invalidated, but you can see it has some few selling imbalances. It's a bullish candlestick. Now that's also a red flag, but remember we said the minimum of the imbalances should be 3. Now this was a bearish candlestick. It's a bearish candlestick, but right here it has positive delta, meaning buyers were pushing price up, but price was resisting according to the cumulative delta divergence and also the footprint chart. And then also here, as you can see, the institutional traders know that this is a bearish candlestick, but then it has buyers that are trying to push price up. But the retail trader will not see that. They will not know that. For them, they will see that it's a red candlestick, and then they will automatically think, or it will come to their minds automatically, that this candlestick is a candlestick that means that it has sellers in it, of which it had sellers and buyers, and then buyers and sellers were having a really strong fight in this very candlestick. Now the next candlestick, 520. Now this candlestick gave us another red flag for the buyers that they were trapped. First red flag that you're going to see also in this absorption is buyers being trapped at the top, and then also the candlestick is bullish, but then why is it having 3 or more, or it's having 3 selling imbalances, yet it's a bullish candlestick? Now that's another red flag. The other red flag is, why is this bullish candlestick, it's almost full candlestick, why is it having 0 positive delta? It means here buyers died out, but then right here a retail trader will be like, no, price is still going up because the candle is bullish. But now for us, we have confirmed with this plus the cumulative delta divergence that price is actually reversed because of this absorption that has happened here. So after this, we had the candlestick that actually gave us the confirmation. We had this candlestick, it had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 selling imbalances, only 1 buying imbalance, meaning this whole candlestick sellers dominated it. You can see the delta was negative and the max delta was close to 0. And as you can see, price made a shift here. We had positive delta, then it came to 0 with the candlestick also confirming with the imbalances, and then at the end of it all, this candlestick came in with a lot of momentum, giving us our confirmation. Now here we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 confirmations. These 4 candlesticks plus the cumulative delta divergence, we got in. Now this was our sniper entry. You can see that I took this trade also. It had 0 drawdown. We also had this trade. Now this was the before of this trade. I don't want you to think I didn't take it. This was the before of this trade. I also shared these trades in the Signal channel. So if you want to join, you tap the link in the description and then you join and be able to be part of the signals and receive such trades also. So you can see that these are trades that happen with 0 drawdown. What does this mean? So this shows us that these trades so what I want to show you is that these trades happen in high volatility times. These are the times you should take such trades to avoid consolidation that is going to make you lose your account because you're trying to flip it. Because if you're trying to flip an account and you're adding in positions and price keeps coming back behind, then you're going to have problems with it and everything. So as we got in right here, we set our stop loss just slightly above the candle that gave us the signal, and then also here right here we had liquidity to get with the order book hit mark. Those that have it, you can confirm. We had liquidity here, same thing with here. That is what you use for the target, or that's what we use for our targets. So right here we got in and you can see zero drawdown. Same thing with this, zero drawdown. Because of what? Because we have these order flow tools that help us to see what other traders can see. 90% of what other traders cannot see. That is why you will do this flipping, and it's only a few that can actually do this flipping, because still it's only a few that are willing to put in the work to learn and see and get to try to do it. The ones that or the ones that actually put in the work. So now we had our sniper entry. We got in and you can see this trade worked out exactly as we wanted. But now the part of adding in more trades or adding in more positions, pushing in more positions. What is the logic behind pushing in more positions? Now, right here we had 522. That is when we entered. We entered at 522 after the 521 candlestick closed. And the other thing, by the way, I for one, I stop adding in positions, or I love stopping. I love putting a stop and adding in my positions at the 50% level of my take profit. If I have a take profit of 1 to 10, I want to stop at 1 to 5 adding in positions. Then I hold up to the take profit. Or if I have a take profit of 1 to 4, I'll stop at 1 to 2 adding in more positions, and then I hold the rest up to take profit. Now, starting from here, we had 522. Now, what do we look for if we want to add more positions? The trick is simple. Look for imbalances in every candlestick that's going to give you a setup, or that's going to give you a signal to add in more positions. The other thing is, I want you to look at the delta. Let's say now, this very example, we are selling. Yeah. Now I want you to look at the max delta and the min delta and the delta itself. If we are selling, we want the max delta to be close to zero for us to be able to confirm that buyers really don't have any hand at all in buying or any hand at all in the market, and we are confident enough to add in more positions, because of course price is going to go down, because the footprint chart is showing us that buyers do not have any say in the market at the moment. Now you can see right here that this candlestick that gave us a confirmation that the delta was close to zero. Same thing with this one, delta was close to zero, and all these candlesticks that you see where the delta was close to zero, each and every time that candlestick closes and you look at the delta, the max delta, and it's close to zero, adding more sales. Simple as that. The more confirmation that you can add to this is the divergence being there. So this, we had this mean delta close to the max delta, but then mean delta close to the delta, but then the max delta was close to zero. Same thing with this candlestick, but then look at this candlestick. This was max delta was 8. That means it was not close to zero. And then also you can see that we had some positives right here. Now this was a red flag that either price was going to consolidate for a little bit, or it was going to somehow come back up. So here we know that now we have to pull back and don't have to add in more position. So you can see that with this candlestick right here, sellers had power. Like sellers had power right here, and the buyers still had no hand in the market. This delta was close to zero. We had this close to zero, and then the fact that order flow doesn't lie. Order flow actually doesn't lie. Look at this candlestick. When the delta was not close to zero, you can see that price started consolidating. Same thing with this. we had some few stubborn buyers that were trying to push price up, and this is what I'm telling you, that when you have delta that's not close to zero, please make a small hesitation in adding in more positions into this trade that you want to take. So as you can see, that as the delta kept on not being close to zero, there was some little resistance and consolidation around here. As you can see, there was some consolidation. Price was flat and price was not actually moving further. So as you can see here, same thing. But remember, for us, we stopped adding in positions the 50% level, as I told you. So while the retail trader is waiting for price to come back to this level, maybe it's like a resistance, a support level, and then they've seen this hammer candle. Our candlestick right here in the footprint chart is really telling us a very different story. So that's the first. Now that's all for this footprint chart, and then for the flipping of the account. Now instead of dropping one big position, maybe on a $10 account, you drop 0.5 on a $10 account or 0.8 on a $10 account. We drop the 0.01s and keep on stacking them slowly, adding in positions until it all makes sense. Each layer was placed as footprint clusters, kept on giving us confirmation and screaming absorption, and keep screaming that sellers were in control. The market kept luring buyers in, and as the buyers kept on being lured in, the sellers sold to them. So every tick mattered, and every candle in this trade, or every candle that happened in this trade, could kill the account. But order flow doesn't lie. Just as I've shown you, the candlesticks that had some buyers resisting, you saw that the max delta was not close to zero, and still after those candlesticks closed, price kept on consolidating. But the ones that showed you that there were no buyers' hand in the market, price kept on going down. So from all that, then came the liquidation. Buyers were trapped and sellers got in, and then we got our sniper entry. Price kept on pushing down up to our liquidity zone, which was our take profit, and we got out with our $2,000 plus. Yet we had started the account with only $10. Imagine, $10 had become $2,000. That's a 200 times return. Now listen carefully. This wasn't luck and this wasn't gambling. If you chase flips blindly, let me be honest and blunt with you, you're going to blow the account. Because the only reason this worked for me are the tools, the order flow tools, and I took each and every tool based on logic and data, not guessing and gambling. So the footprint confirmed the lie that the green candles weren't really green and the sell candles weren't really, or all the red candles weren't really red. And that is why I stacked, and that is why I won. Basically, that's how I flipped $10 to over $2,000. And this is just the beginning. If you master these tools, flipping becomes a reality, not a dream, or not you seeing someone flip $20 to $10,000, or maybe $10 to $1,000, and then you call it a lie. So subscribe and drop a comment if you want me to break down more of these flips with other different tools like the depth of market, and also talk about the volume profile, VWAP, and all those other order flow tools, and also more extra ways of using the footprint chart, because this is just the tip of the iceberg. And also make sure you share this with someone that thinks green candles actually are green, or all red candles are actually having sellers in them. Yet you know the truth that not all selling candles are selling candles, or not all green candles have buyers in them, which is supposed to be our red flag. So subscribe, comment, like, and share this video, and then also I'll be waiting to see you flip your account to any account, from any amount you wish to any amount you wish. Good luck, and I'll see you in the next video.